Apparel exports from Turkey have increased by 4.6% year-on-year to $14.8 billion in the first 10 months of 2018, according to Istanbul Apparel Exporters Association. Ready-made clothing exports accounted for 13.1% of all industrial exports, and 10.7% of overall exports from Turkey during January to October 2018. Nigeria recently introduced genetically modified cotton varieties in the country to boost the textile industry. The country's Minister of Science and Technology Ogbonnaya Onu said the economy will be benefited with the initiative as more small and medium enterprises will be engaged in the cotton seedling production and its byproducts. India's trade talks with the United Kingdom scheduled in December are expected to offer impetus to a free trade pact. India is likely to discuss areas of sensitivity in trade relations after Brexit takes effect in March 2019, when Indian Commerce Minister Suresh Prabhu meets UK Secretary of State for International Trade Liam Fox, due to visit India next month. The European Union recently approved an agreement on the British withdrawal and future ties. Insisting that the best and only deal possible paves the way for an orderly withdrawal, 27 EU leaders gave it their approval after less than an hour's discussion following 20 months of negotiations. The deal now needs to be approved by the British Parliament. Australian cotton production in 2019 will be less than half of this cotton year despite attractive pricing, according to Cotton Australia, whose managing director Adam Kay said production for 2018-19 was likely to be 2.2 million bales, down from 4.6 million bales last season, due to dry conditions limiting dryland plantings and competition from other crops. Danish Development Minister Ulla Torrens has earmarked 7.5 million kroner to continue assisting Bangladesh in improving equality and working conditions in the textile sector. The collaboration by the Danish Labour Oversight Association Arbejdstilsynet assists in more sustainable growth in the sector that accounts for over 80% of the country's exports. Global economic growth remains strong but has passed its recent peak and faces escalating risks, including rising trade tensions and tightening financial conditions, says the latest economic outlook by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, Paris. Growth forecasts for 2019 have been revised down for most of the world's major economies. UN Environment, which agreed to host the UN Alliance on Sustainable Fashion during its first year, will formally launch it at its next Environment Assembly in March 2019. The alliance was set up by 10 different UN bodies during a side event on sustainable fashion at the High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development, HLPF, on July 10 this year in New York. Chinese consumers will soon be able to spend 30% more on tariff-free goods from outside the mainland as from January 1. Beijing will raise the annual quota on cross-border e-commerce purchases for individual buyers to 26,000 yuan, $3,750, from 20,000 yuan. The decision was taken after a meeting of the State Council, the nation's cabinet. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa recently signed into law the National Minimum Wage Bill, which offers a platform for reducing inequality in society and reducing huge income disparities in the domestic labor market. The act sets a floor for R20 per hour for the majority of workers, which will raise the earnings of an estimated 6 million. Don't forget to subscribe Fibre2Fashion and hit the bell icon for latest updates. Log on to Fibre2Fashion.com and stay updated with more textile stories.